Okay. Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome back to the channel. I am in a very cheerful mood because, yes, the topic drew your attention. Many people have asked questions about how to get to South Africa as an RN to take the Nclex examination. It's the only center we have in Africa, unfortunately. So, yes, we have a guest, and she's one of UPC's products. She enrolled with us and successfully passed her Nclex one time, and I'm happy and proud to be here. She's actually a familiar face. If you have been on our channel for some time, you've seen some promotional videos and testimonial. Yes, this is one of them. This is Lisa. My name is Priscilla Kuma. I'm a registered nurse from Ghana, Americanized over the years, and practice nursing in USA. And my goal is to get all foreign nurses or all international nurses to USA to also go through the process seemingly without any stress. So, Lisa, welcome to our channel. But before then, if anybody is interested in taking the boards or writing Nclex USA, please head to our website on www.usrmpathwayconsult.com, register, and then we can assist you achieve this goal. If you want to write Nclex, we are here to help you. If you just want to enroll for the NCLEX class and you don't want to enroll for the whole UPC length and breadth, we are here. We have our UPC NCLEX Academy to help you sail through as well. You will hear all about what it takes somebody to go right NCLEX in South Africa. There are so many centers around you. Go onto their website and find out where there's an NCLEX center all over the world and choose the nearest one that is convenient to you. So, Lisa, welcome to our channel and thanks for
Thank,
making time for me.
thank you, Madam Priscilla. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very grateful.
Okay, good. Please introduce yourself to our viewers.
My name is Lisa Bepen. I'm a Ghanaian nurse. I work at Leicester Hospital currently. And then I started my NCLEX journey. That was last 2 years, 2022, in November. That was when I met UPC. So I messaged them and then they told me about the process. At first, I was jittery because I felt it was going to be a very long process, and then I felt I should just choose short ways like the UK. But on second thought, I felt it would be worth it if I just go straight, just have patience. And I knew there would be a lot of work involved, up and downs, even though most of the up and downs were taken up by UPC. I knew there was going to be a lot of involvement, but by God's grace, I came out and then I was successful. So that's a little about me. I'm currently in Ghana working. Yeah, as a
Okay.
nurse.
Okay, thank you very much for telling us about yourself. So you happen to write your NCLEX in South Africa. You want to walk us through what's the pre-processes, whatever you had to do documentation
Okay.
wise. What did you do? What was the first thing after you finally got your ATT and chose a date?
So after I got my ATT, I think I got my ATT in October. Then I contemplated and then felt like if I chose the date the next year in February, that is 2024 in February, that was when maybe, because I'm doing the process on my own, I would have gathered some money and then prepared for my flights and everything. So after I booked the date for 20th February 2024. um, I was contacted by one of UPC staff, told me what I would need and how the travel is going to go, the money involved and everything. So I knew I had to get my passports ready. I had to get a vaccination card, the vaccination card ready, the COVID vaccination card,
No favor.
the yellow fever card. Yeah. So I had to get all that ready. Unless if I had waited till let's say February or getting to 20th and then I had gone for the yellow fever, it would be impossible to travel. So I did all that in I especially the yellow fever vaccination. I did it in November. So that I wouldn't waste time. As for the booking of the flights with South Africa, we know that they brought this visa free. Say I wouldn't have to apply for a visa for South Africa. So what I had to do was to search for flights, and even that, Madam Vida held me out. So we searched for flights, and then as at that time the flights were a little bit cheaper. because I was going to book for February and then I paid in November. So I got a cheaper flight. It was almost in Ghana cedis. In Ghana cedis, I would say it was almost 7,000 cedis for my in and out, my all round trip. But later on in like December and January, when I checked, those flights had increased to around 10,000 plus. So I was very grateful because Madam Vada advised me that if I booked earlier, then traveling and then everything will be easier for me. But if I waited till January or even in February to book, then that means I was going to incur loads of cost. So I took her advice and then I booked my flight in February. So after booking the flight, then I had to look for where to sleep. So as to where to sleep, the choice was either hotel or Airbnb. Uh-huh. So I looked through the hotel list and I was like, no, maybe my money would not be up to. So then I checked the Airbnb site too, and I noticed that there were a lot of Airbnbs around. But I had to look for one that was safer, and had a security also around and everything because I'm going to South Africa for the first time. So I spoke to Madam Vida and she was even worried why I want to choose an Airbnb instead of a hotel because at least the hotel has all the security. Okay. But based on my own financial status,
Yeah.
I told her that I would want to get money for my Airbnb or hotel and at least get some money aside because I don't know whether I'll be paying something at the airport. I'll have to show proof of funds and all that. So I ended up choosing an Airbnb, which was very, very, very safe. Very, very safe. The name of the Airbnb is Cozy Stay. They are at Santon, and their neighborhood is like an estate. So they have this security men, policemen all around. So I was very happy I chose the Airbnb in the end because it was very safe. I didn't encounter any problems. Um, Around that side I could get access to whatever I want, whether it's a shop, I want to buy food or anything. There was everything around me. Say Airbnb at Santon. I paid 15 50 almost $15 for a day. So I booked for 5 days so that it will cover when I'll be coming and all that. So then I ended up paying around $75, which was okay. So I was worried at first, but when I got to speak to the host and all the people handling the place, I was certain that that place was a good place. And they also made provisions for a taxi to come for me right from the hotel to their place. And the host was very welcoming, very warm. She come and check on me every morning. So it was very pleasant. I would say that being in a hotel too would have been safer because most of the people I met there were also in hotels, and they were also safe. So whether you choose a hotel or an Airbnb just depends on where you are going and the people you are going to meet and how safe the place is.
So you gather your documents of COVID card, yellow fever card, your passport, and did you go to the South Africa consulate or embassy in Ghana in Accra by yourself, or did you email that to them? How was the process like?
Okay, so when I got the COVID card, my other documents ready, the yellow fever card, I didn't go to the consulate because they've cancelled the visa processing for Ghana and some other countries. I didn't go there. I spoke to Vida and then Vida even confirmed to me that I don't have to go there because she spoke to even the airline where she bought my ticket and they said that because South Africa there is visa free now, I don't have to send my documents anywhere, but I would have to add up certain documents like if I have a bank, I'll have to get my bank reports. I would have to also get a copy of where I'm going. Let's say cozy stay, where I'm staying, the amounts they charge me. So I have to print that one out. I also have to get a travel plan so that I'll show it to whoever, so that in case I get there or I get to the airport and they're asking, where am I going? What am I going to do there? I'll just show it to them. I'm going to write Nclex. Maybe this is my document. This is, I'm writing it here. Maybe I'm writing it in something. Everything will show. So that they will know that I'm going to write an exam. My travel plan, where I'll be, my final destination, um, whether a taxi is coming to pick me to wherever I'm going to live, the Airbnb, everything, a map of the area where I'm going to. So I had all that in a file, so that if anything, I'll just remove it and show it to them. So I didn't go to the consulate. No.
Okay. So you just bought the ticket and then you showed up at the airport.
Yes.
Just to chip in here that luckily Ghana has become visa free to South Africa, and I don't know why other African countries would demand visa for a fellow African. We need to have a free border where everybody can cross and
Yes.
transact business within the same African continent, and we hope one day we can get there. So you booked the dates, you paid for your Airbnb,
Yes.
and then you took a flight there. How much is the tickets, and what airline did you use?
I used Rwanda Air. The ticket fare was 7,000 cedis fare for a round fare in and out. We had one stop. We stopped at Kigali when we were going. It was just a few minutes, and we joined the another plane to South Africa. Then
Okay.
when coming back to, it was two stops, Kigali and then this Nigerian airport, Azikiwe. I've forgotten the name. There wasn't any delays or anything. And with Rwanda Air too, when I was going, they didn't demand. Most of my friends were saying that with other airlines like Ethiopian and other airlines, they demand you to deposit maybe $100 or $200 before you leave. You leave the country. But for Rwanda Air, as at when I was leaving, they just demanded for my documents, but they never demanded for me to deposit any amount. They just needed to know where I was going to.
So then you arrived in your Airbnb. How far was it from the Nclex Center, and what city did you write in?
I wrote in Johannesburg, Santon, inside Santon. My Airbnb was just like 25 minutes away from where I would write. Where I wrote was in they call the place the Santon Mall. It's a very big mall in Santon. So that's where the Nclex office is also situated there. But it was at the sixth floor. So it's just right in Santon, Johannesburg.
Okay, so did you go there days before to see the place? Did you arrive? How many days did you arrive before your examination day?
I arrived 3 days before my examination day. So I arrived before a Sunday. So on the Saturday I decided to go to the town and then see for myself around the area and all that. So I went to the Santon Mall. I went to roam about. But as at that time, I asked to see where specifically I'll be writing my exams. But I was told by the security men that if we are not having any exam there as at that day, they don't allow anyone to go there up there. So they just told me that I'm at the right place, and that when I'm ready to write on Tuesday, which was on the 20th, I can just walk in and I'll meet representatives who would guide me through the process. So I knew where I was going to, but I didn't see the place till Tuesday.
So Tuesday, your examination time, you made it there. What time was the examination, and how many hours did you go there prior to the exams?
Okay, so my examination time, I had to get there 30 minutes before we start the examination. But I got there around let's say 10 minutes to 7. So when I got there, they hadn't opened anything. They were all inside. The examiners were inside, but they had locked everywhere. So I just stayed out, had my earpiece in my ears, just listening to some music, and then I was just whiling away time whilst they came to call us and then tell us what we should do.
So your examination time was 7:30.
So my examination time was around 8,
Okay.
8
So
a.m.
when they called you guys to the sixth floor, what was the process? Did they take an ID card? Did they do fingerprints? Give you a locker? Just walk me through it.
Okay, so when we got upstairs, that's to the sixth floor. When they opened up, the first thing they asked us to do is to show our passports. So we showed our passports, and they compared to it to a certain information on their computer. They called us one by one. They did the fingerprint section for us. They took a picture of our faces again, and then we had a thorough check, a very thorough check. A thorough check, and they made it known to us that this check, even when you are in the examination hall and you go outside to go and pee or use the washroom and come back, they are going to do that same thorough check, and it's adding up to your time. So a very thorough check. If you are wearing big earrings, you have to take the earrings off. If you are wearing anything that covers your face, like a wig that covers your face, you'd have to draw it back and tie it up. So it's just like I felt I was in Ghana at a moment. I felt a head nurse was just standing in front of me and telling me your uniform is too short. This is So they will make you comfortable, but they are very strict. You see that they are really doing their work. But you will not be terrified. They will not make you terrified. Yeah. But they were very strict checks.
So they looked at your passport. They didn't do any fingerprints or anything.
Yeah, yeah. I said they did fingerprinting too. They did fingerprinting. Yeah, they did all that. Check passport, did fingerprinting, took a picture of me again.
Okay.
Yes. And gave me a locker key where I could place my stuff. And then with this one, they said you can't get access. When you have a phone or any device, they have a zip lock that do put the device inside, and they have a way of detecting if you have opened that ziploc. So in case you go for break, you don't have to touch that ziploc and open it and take out your phone for anything. It's prohibited, and you have to make sure it is in that lock till you are done. Unless if you are done and then you bring it back and there is something wrong, then they will have an issue with you.
You enter the room. Describe the setting in the room. The computers, were there partitions, cameras? Describe that.
Okay, so we entered the room, and then before you're even allowed to enter the room, you have to go through checks again. So we
Wow.
went through another fingerprinting. That was just fingerprinting, and then they'll check you. They'll let you like touch your body, see whether there's nothing hidden before you even get access to the room. So with the room, let's say before you enter, the examiners have there's a partition for the examiners with a clear glass. So they are sitting behind. They are sitting behind it with their computers and whatever devices they are using. And then when they give you access to enter, the computers are just there, like when you enter a cafe, how the computers have been. Everybody has his or her own computer. So they have numbers. Maybe they'll say, Lisa, sit at number 20. Maybe Celestine, sit at number 1. So they'll arrange everybody to sit at their place. And when you sit down, they have something printed out, a document printed out for you to read. And they also have, they said if you want to use an earpiece or something because of noise, they also have all that available. Then you get your seat and then you sit down. So the room is not really like terrifying. It's a warm, welcoming room. But just that some of their procedures will make you feel like, hey, these people are being so strict. Yeah.
Are there any cameras? Are there any supervisors hovering in the room, or are they outside watching you?
So there are a lot of cameras in the room, a lot of cameras in the room, and then the supervisors, for them, they made it clear to us that they will be coming round. So they made it known to us that they'll be coming round. So they came round on like, let's say I saw them like twice. They came round to look around. Then they'll come in. They'll not come to you and see what you are doing, but they'll just be hovering around you. Yeah, that's what they did.
Okay. So then, was there a board and a marker given to you that you're supposed to write or calculate stuff on?
Yeah, we had a board and then a marker. The marker is not erasable, so it will just help you put down whatever you want to put down and then do your work. And then they tell you that you don't have to erase it. So whatever is on it, just leave it for them. You don't have to erase it. So there's a board, there is like a plastic something, and then a marker for you to write whatever you want to write. And whenever you need them, you just raise up your hands, and then you don't look left or right. When you raise up your hands, you just look where they are sitting, and then they come to you, or they show you a board and tell you to come, or they tell you to sit and wait. So you just listen to them and then do what they say. If they tell you to sit, you sit. If they tell you to move, then you move. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
that's
let's go to the questions themselves, the endless questions. So the test started where I'm sure there were some people who are already in the room who had already started. People are in the room before you joined them. So the computer comes on, and then how was the examination? The questions, was it something you expected? Were there familiar questions? Was it getting harder as you go? How many questions
okay.
did you encounter?
Me, when I entered with a group of people. I'm sure we were the first batch for the day. So we entered together, but like we sat differently. So we went through the procedure. The computer will come and tell you about the Nclex, what to do, what to expect. Then after that, you click next, and then it tells you that your test is about to begin. Okay. So my test began, and then the truth is, with the questions I was getting, I felt I was failing because I felt in the questions. I was told that I have to get to harder and difficult questions and know that I'm passing this NCLEX. But with the questions I was getting, I started really slowly. That was something bad I did. I started really slowly because I wanted to be meticulous. But I realized that, Sister Lisa, if you don't rise up and then start running, you lose the game. So I was very slow from number one to like number 35. Then around that side, the truth is, in an hour, I had done only like 12 questions. In an hour, almost an hour. Because I was wasting time, taking my time. So then the angel of the Lord came to tell me that
You have
I
to
have
pick
to
up the
start
speed.
I have to pick up the speed.
I'm
And he
glad
told
you
me
did.
that when I'm solving questions at home, I'm able to solve like 85 questions in sometimes less than 2 hours or 2.5. But this one, why am I taking my time? So I had to just start
Pick up
hurrying.
the speed, yeah.
Yeah. So I started question one, question two, yeah, climbing, but I'm like, the questions I'm seeing, maybe this computer wants to fail me. So it's giving me very, very cheap questions. I was seeing the questions as like normal everyday questions, practical questions that our tutors have taken us through. And then they are not questions I've seen before, but like they are questions that I can apply to whatever I've learned to. So I was saying that these questions, where they are going, I'm sure I'm failing, but I still have to put my trust in God. So I went to question 50, and at 50, the computer said, do you want to visit the washroom or take a break or something nice? And I clicked yes, because I needed a break. So I clicked yes, went out. I went through the same checks again. They checked me again. And then I went out. That is, they took my fingerprints and everything, went through every check again. And then I went out to the washroom. So at the washroom, I went to dance to God. I said, God, I'm dancing. Oh, you have to make me pass. I will not cry. So,
I like that. I like that. I really like that. It's a way
and
to
I,
reset and regroup and
yes,
regather your
yes,
thoughts and go back in a different mode. Yeah.
yes, and go back because I didn't want to be sad.
Mhm.
So after that, I went back to the exam hall. They did every check again, and all this is adding up to your time. I did every check again, and then I went to sit down, and I was at question 51. So then, question 51, I was seeing simple, straightforward questions, NGN questions. And I was like, no, God, where these questions are sending me, I feel I'm failing. So I went then 85. I was expecting to go to 86. Then this computer just shut down. Then I felt I was shattered.
Oh, it could mean anything. You never know.
Yes, stop busy.
Wow.
The feeling at that time was, it was so bad. I've never felt that way in my life before, because I felt I've come all the way from Ghana to South Africa to just fail. Because the questions I was getting, like how sometimes Seima, Yakut, and others have been saying, they are straightforward. And then if you know your content, you don't even have to waste time like how I was wasting time from question, because the answer was there that I had to choose, but I wanted to read through, go over again, and I was wasting time. But when I sped up from like question 35 going, I was having the feeling that the questions I was meeting are questions that's like if I was in my house solving a cube bank, it's just like that. So when I got to 85, we are always told that we should expect to stop at 150. So that's in my mind. So as I was going, I was saying that whether I stop at 130, 140, 150, yeah, that is it. But 85, I wasn't expecting to stop at 85 at all. So 85, then my computer shut down, gave me some questionnaire to fill, and then that was it. I had to get up. My exams was over, and it was around 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 20 minutes or something. 2 hours. So that means that 1 hour that I used for those the 12 questions, when I sped up, I used almost 1.5 hours to get to 85 questions.
Okay, so tell me about the case studies, and then we'll come and talk about Nclex. You are a meticulous student. You have been dedicated. We had no doubt that you will pass. So you overstudied. That is the truth, and that is why you saw it as cheap. Nobody watching this should think Nclex is cheap and go and relax. Lisa is an exceptional student. She's been preparing for this for days and months, and don't go and say Nclex is cheap because she had it easy. Everybody's question is different. You will all start at the same time, but the question one that I will get will not be the question one that you will
Yeah,
get. We all have different paces. If you have to be slow to be able to be meticulous to pass, go for it. If you think you're a fast reader and you're good, go for it. But Nclex is not cheap. Lisa overstudied. She took
oh,
her time to book a test. She was studying, 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 and that's how come she said it was cheap. But English, you need to be very clinical. You need to be very analytical before you can get the questions. So the case studies. This is new generation English,
yes,
NGN, started April 2023.
yes, please.
Tell me about your case studies and how many questions is it and how many sub questions were in there.
So the case studies came in different form. So there were some that didn't come as, let's say, we are treating hypertension, and then they tell you a patient came to the hospital with a BP of this one. They link the hypertension to diabetes, and they can even link the diabetes to an ulcer on a patient's leg and how to manage it. And they can even link it to anything like even end of life care or palliative care. So at first my colleagues were telling us that most of the times it's just hypertension, then they ask you questions, they give you a passage and they're like a comprehension something, then they ask, but now they link it, they link the topics. So it's not just one topic, it's not just a
One
central.
diagnosis. There are so many diagnoses in one question.
Yes, yes, so many diagnoses in one question. So you have to read, but when you know your content, you're able to link them up. You know that maybe someone who has maybe at distance or cushions, the person can have infections. So then when during the passage, maybe they can bring a WBC count that is high. Then you know that, oh, this disease can link to an infection. So this is what it can cause. But if you don't know that, then that is the issue.
You see what I'm telling you about Lisa? Don't take. You see how she has linked everything. And realistically, on the field as a nurse in the US, no single patient has one diagnosis. I have
Yeah,
never seen it and it does not exist.
yes,
One person will have 10, 15, 20 diagnoses and their medication is like 100 tablets when you're passing the morning meds.
yes,
So realistically, what you see in the questions is what happens on the ground.
yes,
Multiple diagnoses, multiple
yes,
surgeries in the past, and a whole lot. Go ahead,
yes.
please.
And then with the when it comes to the medications like this, they always want you to know the side effects. They want you to know the side effects, the management, and the contraindications. And then when it comes to the lab values most of the times is provided in the passage. For all the NGNs that I saw, all the lab values were provided. All the lab values were provided. And then there was another type of NGN. That one, maybe they'll give you different types of passages in one question. Let's say passage one has maybe a patient who came to the hospital and has diarrhea, blah blah blah. Then another one, a patient who came with hemorrhage, and then BP is this one. Let's say BP is 50 something, and then another patient maybe who is having hypoglycemia, showing signs and symptoms of hypoglycemia. Then they'll tell you to prioritize. Maybe the first question they'll ask, you prioritize. Then the second question that they'll ask you, they'll tell you that, so maybe among these patients, what and what are you going to do for this one first? So it's a different group of like NGS put together, and they are asking you specific questions on them. So that was the different kind of NGN I went to meet, because
The
all
case
the
study,
time,
you mean?
yes, the case study.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the times that I've been solving case studies, I've never met a question like that, like with different types of short case
Patients in one. Mm.
in one. But they would ask you specific questions related to them. So that was the different side I met. That was a different kind of NGN case studies I met. I never solved those kind of questions before.
Wow.
Yeah.
They have a million questions out there. So if you're even doing past questions, you go and see a brand new question that you've never come across in your studies. And this is when the clinical learning comes in. If you know the content, then you can apply it. You don't have to see the question, be like, oh, I know this question. They will
Yes,
change it up for you, and
yes,
it's up to you to apply your clinical knowledge
yes,
to it.
yes,
So your
please.
examination finished, you came outside. What did you do as soon as you came out of the hall? Did they give your keys back to you, or what did they do? Yeah.
Okay. So my examination was completed. I answered the questionnaire. I raised up my hand. They told me to come forward. I came forward. They did checks again on me, and then they they told me congratulations, and then they gave me my key to my locker. I went back for the lock they gave to me. I placed my phone inside, so I went back for it. I gave it to them. They checked through my passport again, and then they handed everything back to me. And then I had to leave the examination hall and go back down. So that was the end of my examination. Went back down to the ground floor. The ground floor, I decided to walk around a bit because I was becoming very, very sad. I was
Um,
feeling very sad because I felt that, oh God, I've come to South Africa all the way to fail.
the
Oh.
money and the stress.
And
Um,
then I started visiting YouTube sites as to how I can check fast
check your results. The trick, the Pearson trick.
a trick. And then unfortunately for me, I hear the PSN trick doesn't really work. So when I checked, it didn't work for me, and I
You just fainted at that point. You just buried yourself. Like, I failed. I'm coming back again next 2 months.
oh
Start
so I went
calculating the tickets
oh
involved and all that. Yeah,
oh
it's very
so,
realistic. I've been there. We all did it.
so I went to sit at one of the place is very big. It's a big mall. So I went to sit at, they have a lot of restaurants where you can. So I went to sit at one side, and I was just staring into thin air, just staring. I had not even eaten at that point, but I wasn't hungry. I wasn't hungry. I was just sitting. I was just praying.
Oh, that is so sad. Yeah, this examination is a life changing examination. So you need a moral, the mental compact to be
Yes,
there. You need a whole support system. So some of you, if you come
yes,
out, it's ideal to call your
yes,
support system or whoever has been encouraging you
yes,
through the journey.
please.
Call
Yes,
them
yes,
and
please.
tell them your feelings. And if they are good people, they'll be able to encourage you a little
Yes.
bit.
So then I decided at a point, I decided that what can come can come. So
Mm.
let me get something and eat. So I got something and went back. I took a boat back to the Airbnb. So I got to the Airbnb, and then I started calling my family, telling them how it went. I called my tutors. My tutors, I think Saima was the one who even called me. So he called me and he was like, I should stop what I'm doing. I should stop. I should stop what I'm doing. I've passed. I told him that he doesn't know. Why is it that he's having so much faith in me? Saima
We
is a
know
very
how you are. We know your performance academically and how you've been very ready for this day. So we had no doubts, to be frank
oh,
with you.
when I had lost all hope, Seima was the one telling me that what I'm doing, I'm joking with myself, so I should just stop what I'm doing and go and sleep. I said, Seima, how can I sleep? I can't sleep. Oh. So I came to lie down on my bed. I lied down straight, almost 2.5 hours. I was just lying down, staring into thin air, just thinking. Then
You
I'll
went to a
receive
lot of mental torture. Oh Lord, Nclex will humble you, no matter how good you are. I'm telling you.
then I received calls, other calls from my other tutors, like Sister Mimi. Yes, I received a call from her. She was also laughing at me, telling me what she also went through when she wrote her exams in India. So I became okay at a certain point, and then my host came around and she was like, Lisa, since you came, you haven't gone around to see anywhere, so today before you leave for the airport, you have to at least go around. So she showed me certain places I can go to, certain safe places, and then I went out for a little bit, and then when I came back, I felt I was very okay, even though I was feeling this thing. I came back, I was okay, and then I prepared to leave for the airport. So that's the journey.
Wow. So when did you officially now find out that you passed, and who? How did you do
I
that?
came back. Then the next day, I was on phone checking how I could get access to the result, the quick result. Then Madam Vida messaged me to check my result. And I knew, I'm sure she had checked it for me already, because she sent me congratulations. And I said, Madam Vida, me, I don't like that. I've not checked. I've not checked myself. And you're
Mhm.
sending me congratulations.
We are very advanced. We have things we do. We are we are a research and information hub. So we have it all. We have all the info we need
So Madam
always.
Vida said congratulations. Said, hey, Madam Vida, me, I don't want any AUBL. Then I'll go, then it is failure. Then I can't come and look at your face again. So she sent me the link, and I was on my bed. I just raised the phone up, entered. It's just some simple things you have to enter: your date of birth, and some certain things. Then I entered, and then it just popped up. And then I looked at it. I was just holding the phone up, looking at it, and I was like, no. I
You
so
doubt you doubted yourself too much.
I went back and then entered my particulars again, and I checked again, and then that was when the crying started. I got up from my bed, went to sit in the middle of my hall, and I was crying.
Oh Lord, Lisa, you're
so
so dramatic. Oh no. You were
so my
crying, tears of joy.
oh I cried. So
Oh,
my siblings, my parents came around. They were thinking that
you failed.
I failed. So then I gave them the phone, and they were like, why are you crying? And I said, they don't know. I started crying. Then they joined me. Some of them were crying.
It's a family of drama. I can't do it with you people.
oh,
They're all crying.
oh. So that is how I got to check my results, and then I found out that it's a pass. It's a pass. I messaged Seima said, I told you when you were worrying, I told you. And I said, we thank God. Because I believe it's God. Because one thing I did was when I went to sit by my computer, and even before I took these exams, I told God that, God, you know where I'm from. You know my family. You know that I did this on my own. Some people are sponsored by agencies, but I've gone through this on my own. So, God, let this computer favor me. I'm not saying that the learning aspect is part too, but spiritually, God is also part. So I told the computer that when I sat down, I just told the computer that you have to favor me. you have to favor me. And all the questions I was getting, I think they were favor questions because Madam Priscilla, that's why I was thinking I was failing because the questions I was getting, I felt they were on an easier level. Uh-huh. So that's why I got out and I was down. Yeah.
Whatever anybody believes in, do
Yes.
that. Prayer
Yes.
counts. You do your
Prayer.
work. You can sit and study. Some people go and write it and they fail. And these are very exceptional students back in school and
Yes.
even in their job, and they write and fail. So favor counts, and whatever your faith is, believe in
Yes.
that. Say a prayer whilst you are studying.
Yes.
So, because some of the questions, if you meet them, you will
Yes.
fail. They are so hard, you will
Yes.
fail. Mine was, I would say, was hard, but I also overly prepared. So, but it were hard questions. Ordinarily, some people will fail that question hands
Yes,
down. I
please.
was
Yes.
getting a lot of prioritization, and the level of
Yes.
hardness, it was just increasing and increasing. But and when I left that room, I felt confident. I knew I was gonna pass because I put all my life into it.
Yes.
So yes, this is a proud UPC product. She has passed her NCLEX. And we offer so many services. After you pass NCLEX, you can always reach out to us. Even if you did not go through our program, you can
Yes.
always reach out to us. We are able to connect you to employers in the USA to give you a job.
Yes.
So let's talk about the academy. You've mentioned some names, Yumai, Akute. No, talk a little bit about the NCLEX, the UPC NCLEX Academy, how beneficial it has been for you, and if you would recommend it to others too.
With the UPC Academy, I joined. That was last year in March, and it was a 4 month program. We had about four tutors. With the academy, I was prepared. Like from, let's say, when we say baseline, I didn't know when I started to learn from Nclex, I didn't know what specifically I should learn. I didn't know where I should start from. And the truth is, US education system based on the NCLEX is so different from what we write for nursing and midwifery council exams in Ghana. So different. Practices are different. I know that NCLEX is a very practical and safety conscious exams. So then they prepared for the 4 month classes. They'll prepare you, they'll nurture you as if you are now starting, you don't know anything, start you from the baseline. You start and then they'll let you work on some examination topics that you really need to prepare yourself to write the NCLEX. And then with the tutoring tool, they have made it such a way that you have videos to watch, you have learning materials, a lot of resource materials. But most of the time, they'll tell you to narrow it because they don't want you to learn broadly and then confuse yourself. So if you depend on them and then you listen to what they say.
Any advice to future nurses who are here to take NCLEX, and anything they should know or they should do, any lessons you've learned, and if somebody wants to take in South Africa, anything, any advice at all will be helpful.
So my best advice to anyone who would take NCLEX is to one, rely on an organization such as UPC. Because with UPC you get to meet people who help you achieve your goal. They are not in for your money, but they are in to push you, to give you all the support you need to get to where you want to be. When it comes to tutoring, they are there. When it comes to organizing your documents, processing, even they can go to the length of going to your school and doing all those processes that you need to be working around for you. So UPC is the best when it comes to preparing for NCLEX. So that's the first thing I would say. And then when it comes to NCLEX, one thing you need is patience. Because if you don't have patience, at a certain point, you just leave it and then decide to go and do other things because you feel that the process is too lengthy. Because as at now, I meet other colleagues or friends who want to also go through the process and they are like, Lisa, this process is too lengthy. Like, I want everything to be very fast for me. But I'm like, it depends on what you want. Some people want short processes, some people want long processes, and it depends on your strength. And with this process, when it comes to the monetary aspects, it's even very good how it goes because it's at every step, at every point in time. Let's say at this point in time, if you don't have money, you communicate to whoever is managing you at UPC. then they know how to go about it for you. It's not like you are paying 1 million or an amount at once so that the process goes through for you. It's a step by step process. So one main thing you need is patience. Patience is one main thing you need. And also with the learning aspect, you need to identify sources that have been proven to be very good, because they will help you to build up your content. Aside from your tutors, the tutors will help you. They'll let you learn the basics and everything and groom you to a certain level. You also have to identify other sources, example simple nursing, nexus nursing, and some other YouTubers who are nurses, and also enable you to explore the content very, very well. And all I would say to whoever is planning to write Nclex is that this journey is not easy, but you have to put in your all. Because if you put in your all, at the end of the tunnel, you are going to see the light. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be full of emotion. It's not every day that you feel like taking a book to read. It's not every day that you feel like learning. Some people are mothers. So most of the times when I see the married women and those with children who are striving to write Nclex, I'm very proud of them because they are doing very, very well. So it just comes with the push and the drive to um get to wherever you want to do, write Nclex and pass, and then you move on with your life. So this is the little I'll have to say to whoever wants to write Nclex.
Thank you very much, Lisa, for joining us. And for you watching who is here to embark on this journey, ours is self sponsorship. Basically, you pay all the cost involved. But the good thing is, at the end of the day, when you have an employer and you're able to bargain how much you want to be paid, all those costs involved will be reimbursed. That is what the ideal situation should be. So it's just like taking money and investing and reaping the results, all that cost involved. Just keep your receipts and show to employer and they will reimburse all that. And it is totally worth it. It is doable. People have done it. When you are with an agency and they're giving you contracts, open your eyes, read those contracts and know what you're signing yourself into. Some of them are not what they seem to be. If you want to register, go to our website once more, www.usrmpathwayconsult.com. And thank you to all who have been on this channel. Congrats to all who have enrolled with UPC and passed. And go to our social media. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter. The name is USRM Pathway Consult. Follow us and we'll bring other people to the channel to share their success story. Once more, congratulations, our US RN from UPC, Lisa. And then we cannot wait to interview you again when you finally make it to America. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Madam Priscilla. Thank you for the time too. I'm really grateful.
We had to thank you for being on our channel. Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it. Not everybody's willing to share the process until they finally make it here, but you're able to do that, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank